Good morning and welcome back to Community Couch Time. Today is Monday, June 1st, and I hope you all had a good and safe weekend. And so I kind of wanted to check in a little bit about what's been going on around the country. I don't have the answers. All I have are some insights, and I hope that I can be of help. So as usual, I'm going to kind of share a little bit of a story with you. In my life, I have experienced a lot of similar sorts of uprisings and protests. For instance, I was in high school in 1992 when the uprisings occurred in Los Angeles, and I also was, I was the year that I graduated from high school. So right after I graduated from high school, there were lots of protests and walkouts around Proposition 187, which is the law that really discriminated people who didn't have documentation. It's kind of like a show me your papers law. And so we were, as a family, the students I went to school with, we were all very much against that. So, you know, a lot of students marched, a lot of people marched. It was a day of march and protest that we had in that year. That was 1994. There are many others in between, but then there's also another one that really comes to my mind. The walkouts and protests that happened in 2006, and a lot of my students actually walked out. And so I just remember that I did not, of course, organize for them to walk out. That's not my role as a teacher to tell students what they're supposed to do. I can educate on it. I can, in other ways, teach about it, but I can't tell them to do it. That's not my role. But I did have like a story, a memory that's really profound in my mind right now, and it makes me think a lot of what's going on. And that is that some of the administrators at my school at the time were really, really angry with the students, and we're yelling at them, we're threatening to call the police, we're telling them that they're ignorant, that they don't know what they're doing, they don't know why they're walking out. And really just like saying things to try to make them feel guilty. For instance, the one principal was like, I came all the way from Mexico and to find a better life and to work hard. I didn't walk out. And so what that showed me was that that people were not recognizing that students, that youth, and a lot of what's going on right now with the uprisings here in Los Angeles and in other places involves a lot of youth, is that youth know when something's wrong. Because we don't have a systemic ethnic studies in our schools that teach about some of these uprisings and teach about a lot of the systems of oppression that youth fight against. You may not have the words, some of you do, which is, you know, really commendable. It means that you have sought that knowledge, or, you know, you've been blessed to have a good ethnic studies teacher. But many students don't have that. Many youth don't have that language to be able to speak to that. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be out there. It doesn't mean that you're wrong for being out there, because you know something's wrong. You can feel it. You may not have the language to explain it, but you know when something is wrong. And so I just want to say that I hope that you stay safe. Remember that we're in a pandemic. Remember that social distancing, wearing masks, all that is important. You know, Black, brown, and Native people on the reservations are dying at higher rates of COVID-19 than white counterparts and even Asian counterparts. And so I want you to really think about that. Like, I don't want folks to be out there protesting a righteous cause, right? But getting sick and potentially spreading it and then, God forbid, dying. I don't want that, but I also want you to know that that you're not wrong for being upset. You're not wrong for wanting to make a statement that you're tired of what has been happening to Black men in this country. And so today I just wanted to read a statement from Black Lives Matter regarding what's been going on. This is a statement from 2 days ago, and the statement is #defund the police. And so let me give a little background to that. Through this pandemic, we've needed an increase in funding for hospitals for personal protective equipment. We need an increase in funding to ensure that people are able to eat, that food is being provided, that medicines are being provided, healthcare is being provided, just so many things. And we know that the money is there. We know that if you defund certain things, like in this country, a lot of money is invested in war, into what they call the military industrial complex. So if you pull some of that money, and if you pull money even from the increases that have been going to the police, you could ensure that everybody would have really the basics that they need during this pandemic. And so what we're seeing is the investment has by the government has been going into what obviously they deem as important, and it's not in human beings. So I'm going to go ahead and read the statement by Black Lives Matter. Enough is enough. Our pain, our cries, and our need to be seen and heard resonate throughout this entire country. We demand acknowledgement and accountability for the devaluation and dehumanization of Black life at the hands of the police. We call for radical, sustainable solutions that affirm the prosperity of Black lives. George Floyd's violent death was a breaking point, an all too familiar reminder that for Black people, law enforcement doesn't protect or save our lives. They often threaten and take them. Right now, Minneapolis and cities across our country are on fire, and our people are hurting. The violence against Black bodies felt in the ongoing mass disobedience, all while we grapple with the pandemic that is disproportionately affecting, infecting, and killing us. We call for an end to the systemic racism that allows this culture of corruption to go unchecked and our lives to be taken. We call for a national defunding of police. We demand investment in our communities and the resources to ensure Black people not only survive, but thrive. If you're with us, add your name to the petition right now and help us spread the word. And I will put the petition address into the comment section of the video so that if you want to sign the petition that you can. So for today's Community Couch Time Journal entry, I would like you to, so for today's Community Couch Time Daily Journal, I'd like you to just reflect on how you're feeling about everything going on. But I would really like you to really be cognizant that others can read your posts. And I want you to be cognizant also that, just as I said a few minutes ago, that you may see that sometimes, people that are out there involved in the uprisings may not have like the words to explain exactly why they're out there. And as I said, many do. Many really do. I've heard some amazing speeches in the past few days. But I want you to really think about the fact that you can feel that something's wrong, and you can feel that you need to fight back. And for me, that's enough, okay? Because we're talking about a feeling of dehumanization. We're talking about something that nobody should feel. And so I really want us to reflect on that and think about how we can get past this, right? And I really want you to also think of this statement that I just read, and I will also put a link to the statement, so if you decide you would like to read it again, that you can. Another thing I also want to share is at the end of this video, I'm going to put a couple of pictures of George Floyd to honor his life. Thank you. Hilakech.